Wonder how Brian and Andrew are doing. I'm doing pretty good, actually. Why did I agree to do this?
The Smoky Mountains. Right in the heart of the Appalachians, this is the most visited of all national parks. Nearly 10 million people come here each year. You can fish, camp, ride horses, bike, and enjoy the scenery and nearby tourist traps. But we weren't here to be tourists. We were here to commune with nature, to sit by the fire and sleep beneath the stars. To do that, we'd need to grab some maps, each only $1. The Big Creek Trailhead has a kiosk anyone can access using the honor system. Before heading out on our backpacking trip, we were going to stay at the Big Creek campground at the foot of the hills. We were ready for our next adventure, but there was just one problem. So since this is closed, we might want to go to Cosby Campground, which is close enough. I don't know if that's closed either, but if not, we might have to sleep in the car.
We drove in the darkness across a precarious mountain road, only to find that the Cosby campground was closed too. There wasn't a soul in sight. We paced back and forth thinking about what we should do.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't even check to see if the front country campgrounds, like the developed ones, were closed or not. Because I figured if the backcountry campgrounds are open, you'd think these would be.
See, I just thought since you made reservations and I printed out reservations, that one of them must have included the campsite that we were staying at the first night.
You give me far too much credit.
Okay, well, I guess there's no camp to set up, so.
At least it's warm.
It is, what time is it? 7:41.
Oh God.
That was the worst sleep I have ever had in my life. By a long shot. One night of sleeping in the car and you want to kill everybody inside.
I would find a comfortable spot, and then after 3 seconds, it felt like my spinal column was being bent the wrong way. So I'd have to shift and bend it back the other way. I couldn't tell when I was awake or asleep, and you kept thinking we were saying stuff.
I thought at some point you said something about Koreans. You're like, those Koreans, and I was like, what are you talking about, those Koreans?
It started drizzling in the morning, so we moved beneath an amphitheater to organize our gear. The sky was overcast, which was a bit intimidating, considering what we had planned. On this trip, I would be heading west from the Cosby campground, while Brian headed east. Meanwhile, Robbie would be hiking out from the Big Creek Trailhead. We'd camp alone for a night. Then, we would all make our way towards the rendezvous point, just beneath Mount Cameron. From there, we'd journey together to the Davenport Gap shelter, where we'd spend another night before finally hiking out.
After we finished packing, it was time for us to split up and head out into the rain. We were nervous, but filled with excitement. As I drove back on the mountain road through the rain, the other two had just arrived at Brian's trailhead at the far end of Cosby Campground. Now, all three of us were alone.
Rain poured down from above and our glasses were fogged up. But no matter what, it was time to get moving. I was surprised at all the greenery I saw this early in the spring. Everything from the hemlocks to the moss, club mosses like this fan club moss, and of course, the rhododendrons gave this park a vibrant, verdant hue.
In the meantime, I had just arrived at the parking lot and made my way towards the trailhead.
Here we go.
Robbie was just starting out, but I had already hiked across streams and through the mud.
I've reached kind of an overpass here. You can see all the mountains in the distance. It's been pretty tough so far. This rain is not making it easy at all. Hopefully the rain will let up a little bit and we'll get a little bit of sun and get to see some of the views.
Not far into my hike, I came across an old cemetery, a spooky beginning to an already uneasy ordeal.
You might be thinking to yourself, man, that would really suck to be hiking out in that rain. But there's 3 reasons why it's not. Reason number 1, it is above freezing, which is the first time it's been like that in months. Number 2, I bought waterproof boots so my feet are not soaking wet. And number 3, probably the most important, there are no mosquitoes. God, there are no mosquitoes.
Tough as the hikes may sometimes be, the Smokies are filled with incredible scenery, like this mossy cascade.
Well, the rain has finally stopped. Thank goodness. Even though it's still early March, there's all this greenery around, all these rhododendrons and moss. Very beautiful. I've been hiking for what feels like a while. It's a bunch of uphill, but I've actually only gone a mile. I've got about 4 more to go. Hey, there's a pileated woodpecker. Sorry, no chance I could get that on camera, but I'm actually hoping the rest of this trail is a lot of uphill because tomorrow I've got an 8-mile hike, and I really want that to just be an easygoing, flat hike along the mountain ridge.
In the Smokies, you'll often find amazing rock formations, much of which are sedimentary rocks formed of clay, silt, sand, and gravel. And just off the trail, there were some more beautiful sights that I wanted to check out.
I think I'm about a little over halfway to the first campsite. It's been raining all day and it's been making filming and hiking kind of annoying. Being solo is definitely a different experience. When you're hiking by yourself, you're pretty much just you and your own thoughts, and the whole time I was thinking, why did I agree to do this? And can I hike this far? And is this going to be worth it? And I've got no one else here to push me but myself. I've kind of already made a commitment, so that kind of keeps me going. I'm going to be looking forward to getting to that campsite though, and getting in that tent, drying off, and getting a good night's sleep tonight.
If you've ever seen the movie Princess Mononoke, this is Princess Mononoke in real life. Wow, this is beautiful. I bet if I filtered some of this water and tasted it, it would be unbelievably delicious. Let's head back.
I continued hiking up the trail, passing by a river, which I thought might mean I was getting close to my campsite.
While Andrew hiked up through the hills, my trail was a bit more level. I stopped to eat while enjoying the scenery. The river here was wide and beautiful, and nearby there was an incredible waterfall gushing down from the bluffs.
Well, I don't know if you can see it here, but just ahead is, I guess, campsite 35. I can see the fire ring and I can see some logs that people were sitting on, and I don't see anyone there, so I might have it to myself tonight. But let's keep moving and check it out. Well, I got here kind of early, I guess, but now is as good as any time to set up camp while it's still dry. So let's get to it. It's still just me here, but it's still pretty early. I got here pretty quickly. I think what I'm gonna do is take a little bit of break. Maybe we'll see if anybody shows up later in the day. All right, first night solo, here we go, right?
It was only noon and Brian had already reached his campsite. Me, on the other hand, well, I had a lot of hiking left. I again passed by some incredible mossy growth, indicative of the temperate rainforest conditions found in some areas of the park. With how little